All right, so we're going to start setting up some models. We're going to create the models for the freelancer and the business, and we're going to override default Django user, which is what Django recommends. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open editor of your choice and make sure your virtual environment started and activated. And then we're going to want to start a new app. This will be for overriding the Django user. So we'll say Python manage.py start app, and we'll call this accounts. And then just like always, we'll add this to the settings file. So we'll go into config, installed apps, under local apps, accounts, save that. And now we want to override the default Django user. So we'll go into our accounts app we just made, go into the models, and then we will import from Django.contrib.auth.models import abstract user. So you can see there's abstract user and abstract base user, and abstract user is the simple, and which is what we will do for this in this case here. And then we just have to create a custom user class that inherits from this abstract user. And then this is where you could define other fields, but we'll just pass. So we'll just stick with the default fields. And then we also want to update this in the settings. So we'll go back config settings.py, scroll to the bottom because this setting isn't set, and we'll say auth user model equals accounts.custom user. This is the new user model, and when we reference it in like views and other models, we won't actually point to accounts.custom user. We'll use some other ways that we'll take a look at now. So the next thing we need to do is register this with the admin. So if we come over to the admin.py file, we can import from Django.contrib.auth import get user model, and so this points to whatever is the set kind of active user model that we just put in setting. And then from there we can say, I like to just declare user equals get user model, just so we could set it once and then reference user as we normally would. And then we could say admin.site.register and then just put user. So now it'll show up in the admin. And the reason we did this now is because you want to do this before you make the first migration. It's just so that going forward you don't break things, and it's harder to change it down the road. So now that we've got this set up, we can actually try and apply and make our initial migrations. So Python manage.py make migrations, and you can see it create model custom user, this first migration file, and then we can say Python manage.py migrate to actually make that migration, and it also made all of those default migrations as well. So perfect. And so now that we've applied this migration and have a custom user set up, let's go ahead and get our other models set up for our freelancers and our business. So we can close this accounts folder and the settings folder and go into jobs and go into models, and here we can import that get user model again. So from Django.contrib.auth import get underscore user underscore model, and we can say user equals get user model like so, and then we can go ahead and create our models here. So we'll have class freelancer inherits from models.model, and this will have a few fields. So it'll have the owner equals models.foreign key referencing that user, and then the property on delete equals models.cascade. So if we delete a user, basically delete their freelancer profile as well. And this actually isn't a foreign key, it's actually a one-to-one field, because we only want one user and one freelancer to be associated together. We don't want it so that a user can create many freelancer accounts. So that's owner. Then we have this name, so their freelancer kind of name, and we'll say this is care field. You can use these shortcuts. We'll say max length is 50, that's fine. We have name, then we have another one called tagline, and we'll give this one 100. Then we'll have another field which will be a text field. This will be the bio, and then we'll have their website. So if they want to link their website, models.url field. And this we can pass blank equals true, and it won't be required. So we'll make the bio and the website not required. So that's the freelancer. And we'll also set up a dunderstring method here. We'll overwrite the dunderstring method, which is basically the string representation of this object. It helps when it's displayed in like the admin and stuff. So we can return an f string here and say self.id pipe self.name. So it's just a more descriptive string representation of the object. And then we can go ahead and create our business model, our business table. So we can say class business models.model, and we'll actually use a decent amount of these. So we'll say the owner, so shift alt down arrow to duplicate, and then alt down to move down. We'll take the owner field, we'll take the name field, the business name, and then we'll also take the bio. And then we'll also override this understring method. So we'll say def double underscore string double underscore self, and then return, and we'll say again self.id pipe self.name. Perfect. And then the next thing is to just get them registered in the admin. So if we go over to the admin, we can come here and import them. So from .models import freelancer and business, and then right here we can just register them admin.site.register freelancer, duplicate that down, register the business. So now we can access them in the admin. And the last thing we have to do is actually make the migrations. So we can go back and run that same thing again, python manage.py make migrations. Ooh, and we see an error here. So in this model right here, we don't have this colon at the end of this business class. You guys probably caught that, but can't hear you yelling through the screen. So we'll make the migrations again. We can see it created these two models, and then we will python manage.py migrate to apply those changes. The next thing we're going to want to do is create a super user so we can go into the admin and check it out and create some data. We'll say python manage.py create super user, and then we'll set some settings, djvac.medsup.com, password 123. That's fine. Okay, so we've made the super user. Now we can run the server and go to the admin. Now let's pull it up and go to the admin page. So we have our home route there. If we go /admin, we can log in with our admin account, and then we can see here users and businesses and freelancers. So we can go to users and we can see that we have DJ VAC. We can go to account, we can go back home and add a freelancer. And here we have the owner, so we'll associate it with DJV. We'll say Vacchiano. This is a test account. I'm a test account. And then we don't need a website, but we could just add one. We could add www.vacchiano.com, and we can click save, and beautiful, now it shows up with this string representation, and we have some data in the database. If you wanted to, you can go ahead and make some more user accounts and make some more freelancers or business accounts to test with, but that's where we're going to stop for now. So if you liked this, like the video, it means a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.